I finally got my first job and started making money. A huge milestone for me. Living with my parents, I was excited to gain some independence and save up so I could eventually move out on my own. After a few paychecks, I'd saved enough to buy my own phone. My dad was really supportive, even pitching in half the cost and letting me pay him back bit by bit. It felt good to handle things on my own, and my parents, especially my dad, seemed proud of me. Then, my mom asked if I could start contributing a bit towards household utilities and the phone bill. It seemed fair, so I agreed to give her $200 every 2 weeks to help out. But soon after, things took a turn. My mom and sister started asking me to babysit my nieces and nephew every time they went out. Watching the kids often made me late for work, and I got warnings from my boss. Eventually, I lost my job because of it. I found another job, but it paid less, and I was barely left with anything after giving my mom money for bills. Still, my mom wasn't satisfied and kept asking for more. Despite my efforts, it felt like nothing I did was ever enough for her. The tension kept building between us, and then one day, my mom gave me an ultimatum that would change everything. As the weeks went on, things at home grew tense. My mother continued to ask me to contribute money for the household, and while I was happy to help, I couldn't ignore the strain it was putting on me financially. With my new, lower-paying job, every dollar mattered, and yet my mom insisted on the same amount I'd been paying before. I tried to make it work, living off the little that was left, but I started feeling trapped and frustrated. It wasn't just the money that was weighing me down. My mom and sister expected me to watch my nieces and nephew every time they went out. At first, I didn't mind helping out. I love my family, and spending time with my young relatives was something I enjoyed. But what started as a casual favor quickly turned into a full-time responsibility. Almost every day, I was watching the kids while my mom and sister took their time running errands or just relaxing. They were gone for hours, often leaving me scrambling to get to work on time. The constant babysitting began to take a toll. I was juggling my responsibilities at home, where I had to help financially and take care of the kids, with my job, which was my only source of independence. And with each passing week, the pressure mounted. My employer was understanding at first, but as I started missing shifts or showing up late, their patience wore thin. After receiving 2 warnings, I was finally let go. Losing that job felt like losing a piece of the freedom I'd been working so hard for, and it hit me hard. Despite my struggles, my mother didn't seem to see the toll it was taking on me. She continued to demand the same financial contribution, and I had no choice but to dip further into my savings. My frustration grew as I saw my hard-earned money slip away, all while feeling unappreciated for the sacrifices I was making. My relationship with my mother, once a source of comfort, turned into a battleground of arguments and resentment. Every conversation seemed to spiral into accusations and anger, and no matter how much I tried to explain my side, she didn't seem to understand. Or didn't want to. In the middle of one of our arguments, I finally hit a breaking point. I told my mom that I couldn't keep watching the kids if it meant risking my job and my mental health. I needed sleep to function during my shifts, and babysitting during my limited downtime was making it impossible to keep up with my own life. My mom's reaction stunned me. Instead of understanding my position, she became furious. She didn't seem to care about my need for rest or the strain it was putting on me. For her, it was a simple matter. I lived under her roof, so I should obey her rules. And then she dropped the ultimatum. She told me point blank that I had 2 choices. I could continue paying her the same amount and watching my nieces and nephew whenever she needed, or I could leave her house. I was speechless. I couldn't believe that after everything I'd done and sacrificed, my mother would give me such a harsh choice. She didn't even wait for a response. She simply walked out, leaving me alone to process her words. I felt a whirlwind of emotions in that moment: hurt, anger, and a deep sense of betrayal. It was as if my efforts meant nothing to her. All the times I'd pitched in, sacrificed my own needs, and put my job on the line, and yet it still wasn't enough. She wanted everything from me, without a hint of compromise or understanding. The house that had once been my home now felt like a cage, a place where my needs and voice didn't matter. That night, I made my decision. I couldn't stay in a place where I felt so undervalued, where my own mother was willing to disregard my well-being and independence. I packed up my belongings, gathering the few things I truly needed. I texted my boyfriend, explaining what had happened, and he immediately called his mother. To my relief, she welcomed me with open arms, offering me a place to stay without hesitation. The feeling of support was overwhelming. It was something I hadn't realized I'd been missing until that moment. Before I left, I took a moment to say goodbye to my nieces and nephew. I gave them my stuffed animals, something to remember me by, and hugged them tightly. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing I'd no longer be there to watch over them, but feeling hopeful that they'd understand my choice one day. When my mother returned and saw my packed bags, her reaction was cold. She didn't ask me to stay or express any sadness over my departure. Instead, she threw one last dig at me, saying she hoped I was happy abandoning her, just like my brother had done before me. Her words stung, but I didn't let them sway me. I hugged her, told her I loved her, and walked out, leaving behind the toxic environment that had been holding me back. In the days that followed, I kept in contact with my dad, who was supportive and understanding. Surprisingly, my mother began reaching out too, as if she wanted to stay in my life, despite the harsh words she'd thrown at me. Moving out was difficult, but I knew I'd made the right choice. I'd taken control of my life, stood up for my own needs, and refused to let guilt and manipulation dictate my choices any longer. Starting over was hard, but it was also incredibly freeing. Living at my boyfriend's mother's house gave me a fresh perspective on what a healthy home environment should feel like. She was welcoming and supportive, treating me like family without demanding anything in return. For the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of calm and relief. The house was filled with warmth, kindness, and genuine care, things that had been missing in my own family's home for a while. I didn't feel like a burden or an outsider. I was simply accepted. In this new space, I was able to breathe again. I could finally focus on myself without the constant stress of financial demands or the pressure of constant babysitting. I started exploring new job opportunities, looking for work that would give me both stability and a sense of purpose. I updated my resume, sent out applications, and began reaching out to people I knew in my field. Though it took time, this fresh start gave me hope and the motivation to build a more balanced and fulfilling life. During this period, I also realized how important it was to set boundaries. Moving out of my mother's house was a difficult decision, but it taught me to stand up for myself and prioritize my well-being. I understood that, while family is important, so is my own mental and emotional health. I began to see that I had the right to say no when something was too much for me, even if it meant disappointing people I cared about. It was a lesson I wished I'd learned earlier, but it was one I would carry with me moving forward. With this newfound sense of freedom, I also started reconnecting with friends I had drifted away from while I was living at my mom's place. I had become so consumed with family responsibilities that I'd barely had time for myself, let alone for my friends. Reconnecting with them reminded me of who I was outside of my role in my family. We spent time together, laughing, sharing stories, and just enjoying each other's company. These friendships became a source of joy and strength, helping me heal and reminding me of the support system I'd always had, but had neglected. As weeks turned into months, I continued to rebuild my life. I eventually landed a new job, one that paid better and had a healthier work environment. This job allowed me to save money, something I hadn't been able to do while living with my mom. Each paycheck felt like a small victory, proof that I was moving forward and building a stable future for myself. I started setting small goals, like saving for my own place and focusing on personal growth. It felt amazing to have control over my finances and to see my hard work paying off. My relationship with my boyfriend also deepened during this time. He was there for me through every step of this journey, offering his support and understanding without judgment. He never pressured me or made me feel guilty about the situation with my mom. Instead, he encouraged me to focus on my own needs and dreams. Having him by my side made me feel stronger and more confident in my choices. Together, we talked about our future and what we wanted to build together. This experience had brought us closer, and I felt grateful to have a partner who truly cared about my well-being. My dad also continued to stay in touch. He understood my decision to leave, and he respected my need for space. Our relationship grew stronger as a result. We would talk on the phone regularly, sharing updates and discussing my plans for the future. Having his support meant a lot to me, and I was thankful that, despite everything, I still had a positive connection with him. Knowing he was on my side gave me the courage to keep moving forward. As for my mother, our relationship became complicated. At first, she would reach out to check on me, but our conversations were often tense. She didn't fully understand why I had chosen to leave, and I could tell there was still some resentment on her end. She'd occasionally bring up my duty as a daughter, implying that I had abandoned her. Each time, I would calmly explain that I needed to prioritize my own life and mental health. Over time, she began to accept my choice, though the hurt lingered between us. I learned to accept that our relationship might never go back to what it was, and that was okay. Through all these changes, I grew as a person. I learned the importance of self-respect, boundaries, and independence. I realized that while family is important, I had to make choices that aligned with my own well-being. This journey was about more than just moving out. It was about reclaiming my life, finding my own voice, and learning to stand on my own 2 feet. Looking back, I don't regret the choices I made. They were difficult, yes, but they allowed me to grow and become stronger. I was no longer weighed down by expectations that weren't mine to carry. I had the freedom to make my own decisions, to chase my own dreams, and to live life on my own terms. This journey taught me that it's okay to put myself first, to set boundaries, and to seek a life that brings me peace and fulfillment. As I continue to move forward, I carry these lessons with me. I know there will be challenges, but I'm no longer afraid to face them. I have a newfound sense of strength and resilience. And I know that, no matter what, I'm capable of building the life I want and deserve. This is just the beginning of my journey, and for the first time in a long time, I am excited about what the future holds. After rebuilding my life, I started to feel a strong sense of independence and pride. It wasn't just about escaping a difficult environment. It was about rediscovering who I was outside of the responsibilities and expectations placed on me. Living away from my mom's house had opened up space in my life, allowing me to focus on my own needs and goals. With this new mindset, I began to think about the person I wanted to become and the life I truly wanted to lead. I took this time to explore my passions and interests, things I hadn't been able to pursue before. For the first time in years, I tried out new hobbies and activities. Whether it was reading, hiking, painting, or just taking long walks, I made it a point to enjoy life and focus on what made me feel happy and fulfilled. This exploration helped me understand that there was so much more to me than just being a daughter, sister, or caretaker. Throughout this journey, I also realized the importance of self-care. Taking care of my mental, emotional, and physical health became a priority. I started meditating and practicing mindfulness, allowing myself to let go of stress and negative thoughts. I learned to value my own well-being and began making time each day to check in with myself. Self-care became a way for me to show myself love and respect, something I had often neglected in the past. My friendships became stronger too. With the freedom to spend more time with people who uplifted and supported me, I found myself surrounded by positive influences. These friends reminded me that I deserved to be happy and helped me stay focused on my goals. We shared laughs, moments of growth, and dreams for the future. They became like family to me, filling the gaps that had been left by the strained relationship with my mom. It felt amazing to have people in my life who genuinely cared for me and encouraged me. My relationship with my boyfriend continued to grow as well. He stood by me through everything, offering his love and support without hesitation. Together, we began to plan a future, one that was free from the old burdens and filled with our shared dreams and aspirations. Having a partner who respected my journey and valued my choices made me feel truly lucky. With him, I felt safe, valued, and understood. In terms of career, I finally felt stable and fulfilled. My new job provided not only financial security, but also a sense of accomplishment. I had goals I was working toward, and each step forward was a reminder of how far I had come. I began to save more money, eventually reaching the point where I could consider moving into a place of my own. This financial independence was something I had longed for, and achieving it gave me confidence and peace of mind. My relationship with my dad remained strong. We continued to talk and support each other, and he respected the choices I had made. Knowing he was proud of me meant the world, and it reassured me that I wasn't alone in my journey. Although my relationship with my mom remained complex, I had come to terms with it. I accepted that our relationship might never be the same, and that was okay. I had found a way to move forward while maintaining a sense of respect and understanding for her. Now, looking at where I am, I feel a sense of accomplishment and peace. My journey taught me valuable lessons about self-respect, independence, and the courage to stand up for my own happiness. I am proud of the person I've become and the life I'm building. This experience taught me that it's okay to put myself first, to create boundaries, and to pursue the life that brings me peace. I no longer carry the weight of others' expectations. I've learned to live for myself, finding joy, stability, and strength in the freedom to shape my own future. As I move forward, I'm excited about what lies ahead. I know there will be challenges, but I'm prepared to face them with the resilience I've built along the way. This journey wasn't easy, but it showed me that I am capable of creating the life I deserve. This is my story of growth, strength, and the courage to start fresh. Now, with all that I've learned, I am ready for whatever the future holds. After going through such a transformative journey, I'm now focused on maintaining the positive changes in my life. One of the most important things I've learned is the value of balance, balancing work, relationships, and my own personal well-being. It's easy to get caught up in one area and let others slip, but I've found that a balanced life is essential for true happiness. I make sure to set aside time for myself each week, even if it's just a few minutes, to reflect and recharge. This routine has become a small but powerful part of my life. I also continue to build on the lessons I learned from setting boundaries. With my family, friends, and even at work, I've realized that boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about creating healthy space that respects everyone's needs. My relationship with my mom has improved slightly as I've learned to keep our interactions positive and clear. I focus on staying calm and being honest when we talk, which has helped us avoid many of the conflicts we used to have. Looking back, I'm grateful for the friendships I've made along the way. My friends have been a constant source of support and encouragement. They remind me to stay true to myself, to keep growing, and to always find reasons to smile. Our friendships have deepened, and I cherish the moments we spend together, whether we're celebrating milestones or simply enjoying each other's company. I've come to understand how important it is to be surrounded by people who genuinely care. My relationship with my boyfriend has also strengthened. We've both grown so much through this journey, and our connection is deeper than ever. We understand and support each other in ways we hadn't before, and it's a relief to know that we're moving forward together, on the same page. We talk about our future often, about the kind of life we want to build, and the things we hope to achieve together. It's a comforting feeling to know that we're both committed to making it work. In my career, I'm starting to feel more confident about my goals. I've taken on new responsibilities and pushed myself to grow in ways I never thought I could. Each challenge has taught me something valuable, and I'm proud of the progress I've made. I continue to save money, plan for the future, and focus on becoming financially stable. It's empowering to know that I'm capable of managing my life independently. I've even set new goals for myself, both personal and professional. I want to keep exploring my interests, learn new skills, and take care of my health. I've realized that growth never stops, and there's always room to improve and discover new things about myself. Whether it's learning a new hobby or working toward a promotion, I'm excited for the possibilities that lie ahead. This journey has been about more than just overcoming challenges. It's been about discovering who I am and learning to embrace every part of myself. I no longer feel like I have to fit into anyone else's expectations. I'm building a life that reflects who I truly am, and I'm grateful for the freedom to be myself. Each day I feel more at peace and more in control of my life. Moving forward, I know I'll face obstacles, but I feel ready to handle them. I trust myself more, and I have the support of people who believe in me. I'm proud of the person I've become, and I'm hopeful for the future. This journey has been challenging, but it has also shown me my own strength and resilience. I'm ready to keep growing, to keep striving, and to embrace every moment as it comes. This is my life, and I'm excited to see where it takes me. As I reflect on my journey and the changes I've made, I realize that transformation is possible for everyone. We all face challenges, whether in our relationships, careers, or personal lives. What matters is how we respond to these challenges. If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, remember that it's okay to seek help and take steps to improve your situation. You have the power to change your life, just like I did. I encourage you to start small. Identify one area of your life where you want to see improvement. It could be setting boundaries with a friend or family member, pursuing a new interest, or focusing on your health. Take one step today, no matter how tiny it may seem. This could be as simple as writing down your thoughts, reaching out to a friend for support, or dedicating time to a hobby you love. Consider seeking out resources that inspire you. Books, podcasts, or videos that focus on personal growth can provide valuable insights and motivate you to take action. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether they are friends, family, or online communities. Sharing your experiences and learning from others can help you stay focused on your goals. Also, don't forget the importance of self-care. Taking time for yourself is crucial, whether it's through exercise, meditation, or just enjoying a quiet moment with a good book. When you take care of yourself, you become more resilient and better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. Lastly, remember that progress takes time. Be patient with yourself and celebrate even the small victories along the way. Every step you take toward a better life is worth recognizing. So, take that first step today. Believe in yourself and your ability to grow. Share your journey with others and inspire them to make positive changes in their own lives. Together, we can create a community of support and encouragement that helps everyone thrive. Your journey starts now. Let's embrace it together.